And then the story picks up 5 years later, where her past is basically catching up to her when she was little. Hey guys, and welcome to the first edition of CarCast, a little new segment that we're doing here on Fortune Theory. So basically what we've just done is we've come out of the midnight screening of the new James Bond film, No Time to Die. It's just gone 3 AM in the morning.
Literally like 10 past 3.
Like, the longest I'm usually awake on an average night. We're just leaving one of our local towns. Having watched the film, we're heading home now. Wow, this is one definitely like amazingly highly anticipated movie. Lives up to the hype that everyone's been waiting over a year for. It's amazing. If you don't know us, we're obviously Fortune Theory, so I'm Oliver and this is Patrick.
How you doing?
If you're following us for the first time, this is the first of many new car segments. Obviously, I'm not the man behind the wheel. That's Patrick, who's trying to concentrate on the road, just as I do this little introductory. But yeah, like the whole reason you're here, the breakdown for the film. Well,
fucking nuts, basically.
It is amazing. It definitely feels like a new, like, not in a bad way. It definitely feels like a new kind of James Bond movie, if that makes sense. Like, it's not like what we've had before. Yeah, like, there's bits that are obviously the same with, like, the whole, you have the music introductory with the opening credits.
I felt this, with this one, yeah, like you said, it's
in a new position because of how, if anyone knows how Spectre ended in 2015, he obviously retired from the 00 program and working with MI6 to be with Madeleine Swan. And now in this one, he's basically living up to the hype. He's got that wish. He's with her. He's kind of having his little sort of happily ever after retirement, and he's been replaced by, I can't remember her character's name. Who's now the new 007.
I forgot already. She's the new 007.
She's the new 007.
I don't even think she was given a name, was she?
Yeah. Well, it's said in the trailer anyway, if you don't want to be spoiled about that yet. The lady who says that she's going to put a bullet in his knee, the one that works, she's now 007. That's the title she's been given. So there's a bit of like this sort of banterous rivalry between the two about, oh, you know, you're jealous about that, you like, you know, I'm more important than you, you're more important than me, sort of thing. Like, you've had more experience than me or more respect than me, sort of thing. Like, it's kind of that kind of thing going on. And Bond Jr. as well, ladies and gents.
Pretty much.
He pretty much gains a daughter from Madeleine during a 5-year time jump. They were going endgame style during the first core of the story. Basically, whilst they're on their kind of like, I want to call it a honeymoon, but it's not really because they didn't get married, did they? It was kind of just like part of his retirement. He was just like dating her. They go to this location. They're in this like location they've been to before. Blofield's still got people on the outside. They ambush him, and then he kind of realizes that their old life has caught up with them, and to keep each other safe, they kind of have to like ditch each other and never see each other again. And then the story picks up 5 years later, where her past is basically catching up to her when she was a little girl. Her father, Mr. White, who you may remember from Spectre, had Safin, the new villain of this film's family, killed. He basically wanted to repay the favour to Mr. White's family. He spared her, so he kind of feels like she owes him a life debt now, and she's going to treat it the same sort of way. But obviously James Bond wasn't aware of that because she didn't tell him, so that's kind of like the secret. Or I don't know, I feel like there's a bit more to it than that, but
it goes a little bit
that's kind of what I
generally
gathered from
speaking.
I will be watching it again, so like if you want us to add anything more to a future
like you
video,
said to me,
yeah, you're smarter than this. So.
Like you said to me, your issue with a midnight release is
a midnight release is that like there was a few times, and don't hate me for this, I was so fucking tired, I'm not gonna lie. I was like like a little bit, but I stayed awake for the most crucial parts, apart from one scene with Blofeld, which Pat is now explaining to me, and I'll let him elaborate.
Well, yeah, so obviously we've not gone into spoilers yet, but from now, if you're listening, I've not put spoiler, like, review, so from now, spoilers. But when a crucial point when Bond is interrogating Blofeld in prison, he well, basically Blofeld is getting to him, and you can see that like Bond, like what's he going to do? And so Blofeld, Bond then goes to like strangle him to basically suffocate him, and then Tanner like comes in to try and stop him, and then obviously Bond, like the moment just before Tanner gets into the actual interrogation room, Bond like grabs off. But a crucial plot device in this entire film being this nanobot that is part of like the entire story of like it can attack different DNA and sort of ethnicity dependent on who it's on, so it doesn't necessarily injure you or anyone you know. It can actually attack someone specific. And so Bond, because of his connection with Blofeld, although he strangled and almost suffocated Blofeld in the interrogation, it wasn't that killed him. It's the fact that Bond had the toxin, like the nanobots, in his like bloodstream, in his like not in his, I guess in his DNA now. I'm not exactly sure how that worked, but yeah, he ended up killing Blofeld because of that. So then Blofeld dies in prison, and then that ends up being the main way that Lucifer Safin, that is a name and a half.
Well, yeah, I knew, like, obviously, yeah, I didn't know if Safin was his first name or his last name, but like the fact Lucifer Safin,
Lucifer, yeah,
I think I must have remembered reading that when I first like found out about the character, played by, what's the actor called?
Rami Malek.
Rami Malek, who, for any like people that have grown up just watching any childhood movie ever, will know him from the Night at the Museum movies. And me and Pat were just pissing ourselves at the idea
just before the film started.
The quote of him from Night at the Museum, where it's like, God, you wouldn't believe how stuffy it is in there. Which is associating him wearing his mask, because he's wearing his like Phantom of the Opera mask during the scene where he's like shooting the ice, which turns out to be the opening scene, because it's the flashback of when he does save young Madeleine Swan's life, whilst he basically goes to attack their family, and he kills her mother. Mr. White's already out of the picture, because I'm guessing it takes place roughly before, like obviously long before Quantum of Solace, but
oh yeah, well yeah, it would have been long, probably like at least 30 years ago, maybe more.
I was going to say, otherwise James Bond would be practically dating a child,
yeah,
so that would be a bit weird, but yeah.
Yeah, it's at least like 30 years, I'd say. Maybe we might be like 20, maybe 20 to 30 at least. Because yeah, that's when that is, and like to that for me, like going in, there's always that typical like Bond opening scene, but this is it. Well, for me at least,
this was
different,
and it was the opening
so
flashback,
fucking good.
Opening flashback, and then you had it jumped to present day after that, and then. And that wasn't like, it wasn't like Spectre where they're walking through the carnival. It wasn't like Skyfall. I can't even remember what the opening of Skyfall was now, despite it being one of my favourites.
Skyfall was, oh my god, what was it?
Oh, wasn't it when he got, wasn't it when they, you know, he met Moneypenny and she shot him for the first time, and then M
yes, so
he's like, oh, take the bloody
he's in
shot.
Istanbul, and he's the hallway shot. That is the opening shot.
It's the action sequence, isn't it? Yeah.
That was a, yeah. How did I forget that? Oh my god, yeah, the hallway shot when he comes into focus and it's like the lights on his eye. Yeah, that was Skyfall.
But this one was a little bit more like,
because this one was entirely focused on Madeleine's like the flashback, basically.
Yeah.
Like
it was different.
So
it was a different approach. It kind of felt like a story that wasn't hugely as relevant to Bond specifically. Because obviously it was following a lot of Madeleine's backstory, which I thought was really interesting, because it was definitely a huge way to make it relevant again, for his character to be back in the fold of the spy game, practically. And just for it to not, the stakes not to be so personal that, you know, even though it does come a bit full circle on him in the end, it just really worked for me.
I loved it because it didn't. Like Skyfall, I'd say this and No Time to Die and Skyfall are probably my two new favourite Bond films of like Daniel Craig era anyway.
This one definitely trumps any bad blood that Spectre had.
Yeah.
Because I know a few people weren't big on that one, and I understand in small ways.
Well, it was in a run and after Skyfall, and Skyfall just had that sort of the epitome of like Bond's origin
when
story.
Skyfall came out, times were lenient, and that was already a different James Bond film on its own, because it started to explore the back end origins of James Bond's like true past. With his character, and then Spectre kind of did the same thing, because revealing Franz Oberhat. What's his last name? Blofeld.
Well,
I want to say Oberhat, and then it's not even
when you
that,
Google
so,
it, Franz Oberhauser is Ernst Blofeld. They are the same person, I think. Correct me if I'm leave a comment if that's right.
In different incarnations of James Bond throughout the series, like I consider like this Craig, the 5-film Craig series, like a new canon series. Like it's not connected to the other ones, but I could be completely wrong about that. I believe it.
I'm not. No, doesn't look like it.
I don't think so. But if I'm wrong about that, you know, comments.
It was just a very different Bond film, and it worked really well. But then again, it had cary Joji Fukanaga, which, if any...
That's a fucking mouthful of a name, I'm sorry.
He was the American director. If anyone knows True Detective, that's the only thing I know him for, annoyingly, off the top of my head. That was a great series. Great first series, anyway. I don't know if he directed any more. People who know True Detective will know. But he blasted this. He was amazing. He done a great job. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who done like people know for Fleabag and things, she's done a great job, like assisting in like the screenwriting of this story and bringing certain like elements to characters, and it just worked really. Like again, like the opening scene, that was one of the best character introductions I think I've ever seen. Like it's just Safin, and it just worked so well.
It felt like I was walking into Halloween to start with. Like a guy with mask and just comes out of nowhere. No like real context explained at all. But like when he got in there and he mentioned like Mr. White, I felt like, oh, there's so much like, you know, new retcon canon connectivity. There's just a way, like, because the thing is, a lot of this is based off books, isn't it? The James Bond franchise is based off like the books regarding it, and I feel like they're dealing with new characters that aren't from the books in this one.
True, yeah.
But then, what they're creating is, you know, stuff that's going to be like classical forever, aren't they? And I don't know how.
And this one's just like a great send off.
Yeah.
For Bond, for like the villain as Blofeld, like he's technically gone unless they make a new reincarnation of him in the future. Just works so well. Yeah, it's
I mean, I don't think I can see James Bond as anyone else other than Daniel Craig. So,
no.
Again, because I was kind of like, the way they kind of ended it, they didn't really say that there was going to be someone like taking his place. But if I had to guess, like the rumors about a spin-off that's set in the Craig like canon, following again whatever her character is called, I have no idea, because she's now technically officially the 007 who's officially working for the MI6. A series that follows her, and it's just completely new. It's just not, you know, this is just a spin-off.
Well, it won't be a series anyway.
It won't be a film series. No, it'll just be it'll be a TV show or something.
Well, producers have confirmed that they don't want to make a TV series out of.
They don't want to make.
Bond producers confirmed they never want. Well, I don't know if the what never was said, but they don't want to make a TV. Like Bond won't be a TV series, is what they said out of anything. So whether they continue with some sort of franchise out of. The trouble is with Bond, it feels like they stick to the canon of each new Bond. So whether it's now just going to be the end of Bond, and it's now just a 00 program,
they've never done a film where they've killed off his character. They've never done a film where they've, again, spoilers, they've killed off his character.
Yeah.
So, you know, technically all the Bonds could be canon, and this is just the last ever James Bond film we'll get, which is why the anticipation is so high. But no. Like, it made perfect sense. Like, I speculated it with my friend Todd, who knows he'll be wetting his pants the moment I mention his name in these videos. So, hi Todd. I spoke about it with you. It was the only way to make sense. going forward, because it was the last film that Craig was going to be in for James Bond, so that was the first thing. The second thing being the most important thing, obviously the canon of the story. Spectre ended with the character's retirement. It would be a dour ending if they were to just get him to retire again.
Yeah.
Because it didn't make sense. There's no point in retiring the character and then re-retiring him in the next episode to bring him back.
No.
I don't want to sound like an ass, but that's kind of like a Fast and Furious move. Yeah, and it's just
which for Bond doesn't really work.
Which doesn't work for Bond, because you need to add something to the story.
We really don't know what's going to happen now.
You need to change things,
because like a lot of people go, Bond is Bond. People say we're going to see Bond, and if it's not going to be Bond film, if it's going to be the new 007 film, it's like, what's going to happen? You know, let us.
Unless Daniel Craig does come back and they make a prequel or something.
It doesn't feel very Bondy doing that, but again, in order for it to be a Bond film, that will have to be the case.
Or they just reboot it with another actor, but they leave it like another.
Well, again, we got the whole who is the next
6 to 7
Bond.
years, yeah.
So run-ups now. I don't know the exact list.
Well, I know Henry Cavill was looked at.
Henry Cavill, Richard Madden, Idris Elba. Who else? They like 3.
I personally like to say Tom Hardy, Tom Hiddleston, Jason Statham even, but I feel like he'd be a bit too cockney for it.
Probably, yeah, he'd be way too cockney for it.
He'd be a great character to include in any like medium of James Bond.
And he's bold as well. I can't picture a bold Bond.
Yeah, but that Idris Elba's bold, isn't it? Most of it, for the most part. He's got hair, but it's not very noticeable.
Yeah.
Like if someone made a Lego figure of Idris Elba, it would just have to be
bold. Yeah, maybe a bit at the back, but rarely.
Like a shaved headpiece, if anything. Like.
But yeah, No Time to Die. I can
see Idris Elba doing it.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah, I think that could be a way forward. But let us know what you think in the comments. Like, who do you think is going to be the next James Bond, if anyone? And if not, then how are they going to continue? Well, the franchise or brand, shall we say, of James Bond going forward? Are they going to? Is it no longer going to be in the cinematic medium? Is it going to be? Are they going to revert to books? Are they going to go to video games? Make some inspired music videos? Is it just going to trend and create like meme pages on Facebook like Shrek? Is it going to what's going to happen with it?
I think at least for the.
Are they going to make a spin-off TV show, spin-off trilogy starring other characters with some original content, just set in the canon of the Craig universe? Are they going to just recast someone new in a next generation of stories that'll come out in the next decade or so, give or take?
I think that at least in the near future, we can, because of the media outlets, we can potentially expect another Bond because of what the media have said about who will be the next Bond. Obviously, we don't know if media outlets are paid to say that from studios or not, but it's all speculation. I mean, unless it isn't, if someone actually has an official source of news. But I mean, No Time to Die has just come out, so that we're bound to not get any Bond news for a long time now. We might not, no. Who knows? We might get some news next week to say that, the next film is in the works, but I imagine because of the massive run-up No Time to Die has had, and especially its delay because of COVID, like every other film as well, and series, it's long due and long awaited, and so I don't imagine anything else Bond related will be around for a long time now. It's just, well, it's who knows, it's all speculation.
Yeah, no
really.
idea. No idea.
So yes, No Time to Die was amazing. Go see it in cinemas. Do not wait for it to come on demand.
I know there was this whole thing about Prime, Amazon Prime Video, like buying out the rights for MGM for about 96 fucking billion or whatever.
Yeah, it was a huge amount.
I keep forgetting which is bigger. Is it billion or million? Thanks.
Billion's bigger than million. I think it was like a few billion they bought it for.
96 billion.
No, it wasn't that big, but it was, because billions are huge. I think it was something like, I don't know why 7 billion rings a bell.
No, I heard 96 billion.
It would. I'm sure it wasn't.
It was weird. It was something like that. It was weird.
I think it was under 10. It was between 5 and 10 million, but I might be wrong.
Basically, the point was that they wanted it so they could then obviously have like Disney Plus, have their also own streaming series for MGM related products and mostly cash off the Bond brand. Yeah. Because the new one's just come out, and this would include the new one as well. So that means the new one would only run in cinemas for a limited amount of time. Very unlikely that's going to be a problem, especially now it's just come out, because most people who want to see it or will be seeing it over this weekend, as well as over the next couple of weeks until that time comes where it'll be pulled from theatres and it'll go, and the first medium it will go to is straight to that streaming platform. If the rumours are true and they did buy it out, because I actually didn't hear if they did in the end. I don't know. When I heard it, it was a rumour, but it sounded very prominent. And there was news outlets about it, like official news outlets. So I don't know. Did you hear anything about that?
I can't remember. No. I mean, it's pretty big anyway. So
I can't believe it's nearly 4 AM and I'm talking about fucking news outlets.
Well, there we go. Yeah. Fucking film it, it's fine. It's film on TV. Wait, what is the time now?
It's 20 to 4.
20 to 4 people, so there we go.
Good luck sleeping tonight to those who've just come out of Bond for the midnight screening. If you're watching this, probably like...
And enjoy the midnight, and enjoy tonight's screening if you're going as well. So.
Yes.
There we go.
Or if there's somehow miraculous reason you're in there and the film started at midnight, then how the hell have we seen it before you when we had adverts that started like 5 minutes into the midnight? I wish they didn't do that, to be honest. I wish they just played.
I think it's only the IMAX screen that has... Well, we had no ads, technically. We only had commercials. We didn't actually have related
commercials.
Ads. We didn't have
trailers, no.
We had no trailers, no.
Yeah. Are you American now? Commercials?
Well, it's just like, I consider like commercials are like the TV ads that are played before.
Yeah, we had television.
But we had no film ads.
We had television standard adverts.
Yeah, we had no film trailers. TV, relevant trailers. Anyway.
Well, we had the Disney Plus thing, which was kind of trailering, which was a slight kind of trailer if you count that, but that was more of an advert, and you'd get that on TV. But then you get trailers on TV as well, like TV spots. That's what TV spots are, but no.
Yeah, true. Just checking, we're good. But No Time to Die was insane. Definitely go watch it.
Yeah. If there's anything you want us to elaborate on, we'll be happy to do another video on this subject tomorrow when we're a little bit more, well, tomorrow technically
when you're more awake
when we're a bit more awake to talk about it.
I'm buzzing still, but you're buzzing, like out of it.
I'm buzzing. Because I had a few nod-off moments, I'm not convinced I had the full experience. So, and plus, there was moments in it that I knew I really loved. So I do definitely want to go back, and I will anyway. Because I didn't get to see it at my work because my work was packed. So we had to go to another cinema in another local town. So I'm going to get my free and full experience going again in a couple of days' time. So we'll have another video out then if you want a bit more of a breakdown analysis. But this is just a instant like mental reaction after watching it that we thought we'd give you for our first edition of what our very posh segment of this channel, Carcast.
Is it posh?
Carcast.
I guess the pronunciation could be seen as posh.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, one of many to come.
It is posh.
It is.
It says with aggression. Are we
We nearly are in town.
We nearly are in town.
But yes, No Time to Die is one of the first casts, and we'll see you tomorrow for the guilty, and
tomorrow's in Friday, by the way, people.
And yeah, hope you enjoyed No Time to Die. If you have seen it already, if not, go check it out.
Short-term memory loss. You just said that like 5 seconds ago.
What?
enjoy it if you've seen it tonight, or enjoy it.
Well, no, I'm just reiterating it. Thingy. And yeah, that's about it, really.
Point is, if you're a James Bond fan, this film is not going to disappoint you.
It will
only
not.
If you crave more sequels after it, pointlessly.
Yeah. But
let's put it that way.
There we go.
Yeah. And until the next time, guys, I'm Oliver and this is Patrick, and we are Fortune Fury in our segment Carcast. See you later.
Thanks, guys.
Oh, fuck, what recorded?
Keep that in.